Definitely. I think of it also like wearing clothes. A lot of the clothes we wear are produced by human slave labor. Shout out to Shein, accused of using human slavery for
totally.
their clothes. But we buy it because it's affordable, and it's like it's not
Mhm.
because we think those people should be indentured or anything like that. But it's just like one of those selective calculations we make. Like, am I more worried about spending too much money on ethically produced clothes, or am I going to go to the thrift store and like try to pick up something that's secondhand, so I'm not contributing to it? Or maybe you go on Shein and you buy something that's like cheap and
Yeah,
you don't
totally.
think about it, but it's totally produced by someone who had no choice in the matter, and it's tough.
I
It's a
get that.
moral, it's
And
a morally difficult position.
All right. So, do you feel that the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
No.
And these first few questions might seem a little like easy, but you just follow me along.
Are you okay with being live on YouTube?
I am.
Oh yes,
Awesome.
okay, perfect.
I'll have you step right over there. Oh, not you, sorry.
Oh, okay,
Have you
perfect.
step right there so you're in.
All right,
No, this way.
But
This way.
all right.
You can come in more. Thank you.
Right.
No,
No problem.
worries. All right. What if they're stronger than the person they're wanting to oppress?
I mean, that's just a fact about them. It doesn't give them the right to oppress anyone.
Right. Or what if they're smarter?
Again, maybe there's a place for them in decision making or something, but necessarily like that doesn't mean they deserve power over other people.
All right. And so the next question might seem like a gotcha, but I'm not trying to get you in any way. What would you say about the animals that we use and exploit in factory farms for like food or stuff like that?
I was just talking about this earlier with my partner, actually. When humans were more of just like a natural part of the environment, and animals had the opportunity to escape being hunted by us through being like smart or being faster than us or being more clever, I think that makes sense. Like, predation is natural in the world, but what we do today with factory farms isn't natural. It's systematic. There's no opportunity for the animal to escape or have anything different. It's just, it's a concentration camp for animals.
Yeah, I would agree. I think we agree in that sense. I kind of want to ask. It makes me want to ask about how do you feel about like their sentience? Like, do you feel like the animals back then, like their lives mattered any less than the animals who die in factory farms?
That's a tough one. It's kind of two questions. So, like, sentience first. I think a lot more animals are sentient than we typically allow for. I think, especially in America, science kind of started a couple centuries ago from the perspective of humans are special because of, traditionally because, God created us and we're separate from animals because, first man were made and then the animals, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's the wrong way to look at it. Like, if we all come from an evolutionary background, if we're sentient, it's likely that things related to us are sentient. And that's just like mammals first, but like, why not other things too? We shouldn't assume they're not sentient and then work from there.
Yeah, I think it is a big misconception that that there are animals that don't have sentience, because we have proved that like they do. Like, I mean, we see it every day with our dogs, like our cats that we have like domesticated and keep in our homes, and people can see and people can empathize for. And so I guess what I'm saying is, in my head, it doesn't. I don't think about like the predation or like the naturalness of like before. I kind of just I'm focusing on the now and like what we can do now.
Yeah.
I'm vegan. I've only been vegan 9 months. I never thought I would be vegan, but we're just basically out here talking about trying to end the exploitation, advocate for the ending the exploitation of animals. It seems like you would agree with that, would you?
I would. So, like, full admittance, I'm not vegan. I do support it. It's more of like the reason I'm not is like personal failing of like cutting the habits and everything.
I see that.
Rather than like a moral like in theory, I agree with veganism.
You would
completely.
say.
I agree with veganism. It's just not a step I've personally managed to like get a hold of yet, but I do agree with it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we have some resources I would love to give you
Absolutely,
after our conversation.
Yeah.
But like, what would you say is like the hardest thing, or like the things that you like? Is it food, like everyday eating, or like?
It's a combination. It's accessibility of food. Nutrition. Sometimes I know you can live a happy, nutritious life as a vegan. It sometimes requires, I think, a little bit more finessing, and it's just one of those areas of my life I've neglected.
Yeah. I would like to say, like, I thought the same thing, that like it was going to be this, oh, I was going to have to count more calories or something, or like make sure, like, learn more about nutrients, but really I just take like 2 supplements a day, and it's like, it's all I need.
What are the supplements?
It's like B12, and I forget what the other. It's like a bunch of multivitamins.
Nice.
It does a bunch of stuff, but
kinda
it's
fill in the
basically the
blanks.
same vitamins like anybody else would just
Yeah,
take,
yeah.
like a 1 a day type of stuff like that.
Like, we all take vitamin D here.
Exactly. And so if you can supplement those things, like supplement the things that can help save animals, because like every year animals are like, it's all about the supply and demand. Every time that you use your money to buy a burger at Burger King or McDonald's, or even just Walmart, meat at Target, it doesn't matter, like the money all goes to that supply and demand. And more animals are then sent in the place of the animals that you were able to enjoy.
Correct.
And I know you agree with that.
Yeah.
You stated that. So
No,
like,
yeah.
I totally think you would love to be vegan. I think you would enjoy the
I probably wouldn't hate it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's easier than a lot of people make it seem. There's a lot of misconceptions, and yeah, I think it's hard. Yeah.
Shout out to Beyond Beef. Like, my partner's vegetarian, and basically, like, we don't consume beef anymore. I've been able to completely replace that with like Beyond Beef or Impossible Meat. I think those are great. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, the
Totally.
taste and texture aren't exactly the same. It's like it's perfectly adequate. Season your stuff.
Exactly. And the world of vegan food and plant-based food is going to be so expansive once we start putting our minds to it. Like, if humans are so smart, we can definitely figure out ways to create food and ways to enjoy things and get nutrition and help animals at the same time.
Ooh, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
How do you feel about lab-grown meats? So like meat grown independent, cultured from like no brain attached, no pain sensation or anything, but like just the meat portions.
Right. I think it's really an interesting part of the discussion. I was just thinking about it the other day, and I was thinking it would be an interesting, like, I don't mind the growing of meats, at least right now. Somebody could totally change my mind, willing to.
It's all about how we do it, you know. Yeah.
But I think if the intent is to reduce the suffering of animals, then I could see that being okay, especially if, like, we were talking about snakes and how that can be kind of a tricky thing to talk about, or to think about, how we would see snakes surviving in like a vegan world, or what we were trying to while we're trying to reduce exploitation, not feeding them mice. Then like growing meat in that situation might be nice, because you can grow
You can
meat
grow
that
their
they can
appropriate
digest.
diet,
Yes,
but you're also not
exactly.
killing the mice. Yeah.
Exactly. And so like there's weird things everywhere, but like that's the whole point, is that like there's so much to figure out. And we've been eating animals for so long, and it's just like at some point it's gonna have to stop.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. We're just we're out here trying to start conversations, talk about it, show that it's possible. It is really easy. Just like you can cut out Beyond Beef, you can cut out dairy and eggs too. Those like industries are also really terrible. So
Something my partner told me too, which helped a lot, was don't feel bad about like doing it partially. Like any way you're moving towards veganism or vegetarianism is good. Like, even if you manage to cut out one thing but you're not quite to the next thing. Like, for me, it's like I cut out beef, but I still eat chicken sometimes, and I would like to move towards cutting out chicken. But it's just like, don't be like, just because the first time I tried, I didn't manage to go completely cold turkey. Don't be like, that's the reason to quit.
I think it's hard for me to accept that, because it's, when you think about it in the frame of oppression, it's like, how can we view it as in like, oh, I'll only oppress you a little bit.
Yeah, selective oppression, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, like, or I'm only racist like a little bit, like just towards these people.
Yeah, I see that.
And because it's like there's a confliction with your morals there, because you're telling me that you do feel for all animals, and like you can recognize that like the cows and the factory farms are also, like, you feel for them, but like you're telling me that you try not to feel for like the chickens as much, because like sometimes,
Not intentionally. I do feel for them.
I know.
Definitely. I think of it also like wearing clothes. A lot of the clothes we wear are produced by human slave labor. Shout out to Shein, accused of using human slavery for their clothes. But we buy it because it's affordable, and it's like, it's not because we think those people should be indentured or anything like that, but it's just like one of those selective calculations we make. Like, am I more worried about spending too much money on ethically produced clothes, or am I going to go to the thrift store and like try to pick up something that's secondhand, so I'm not contributing to it. Or maybe you go on Shein and you buy something that's like cheap and you don't think about it, and but it's totally produced by someone who had no choice in the matter, and it's tough. It's a morally difficult position.
I think when we look at situations like that, it's important to think about like necessity.
Yeah.
And because there are a lot of people here who maybe don't need to be shopping on Shein. But are. Like there's a lot, like that's why it's such a large.
It's the same with veganism
fashion,
too, where it's like we don't have to necessarily be eating meat, and of course there's like the sliver of people with dietary issues that maybe do need it, but
I've heard
most people probably would be fine on a vegan diet.
Yeah, I think we have I don't. Yeah, that's why it's hard. It's because so many people feel like it's normalized. It's part of society. We just we just do it. It's how it goes. But it's
starting to think about it is like it seems like such an obvious step, but it's one of those things where after you start it, you look back and you're like, why wasn't I doing that before?
Yeah, exactly. I think every time I've talked to vegans, like even now that I'm vegan, they go, I wish I knew sooner. I wish I completely stopped sooner, because like you could go from reducing some animals' deaths versus reducing the maximum amount that you can possibly do, and knowing that you're doing your entire best instead of like 50%.
Absolutely.
is really should be important to you, knowing that these animals, they care about every moment. Like I find out about new ways that they're slaughtered and killed in like every day, and it's like just so extremely terrible.
It is, absolutely.
Can I tell you about a way that I just heard that
Absolutely.
chickens are and this, I don't know if this is going to be like too much for what I'm on. Like, okay, if I can. Okay, perfect. It was a video, and so you see this video, and it's a bunch of all these chickens, and this is like standard mostly. Like if they're doing it, it's nobody really cares enough to like make sure anything going on in these places is in any way like humane.
Yeah.
So it's a big field of chickens, and then they start filling in the factory or the enclosure with a bunch of foam, so that slowly the foam rolls in,
it is suffocating the chickens.
They suffocate, and so their last moments are filled with fear, and like just like any other animal, like the ducks, like as if they're aware, even if they're not aware, sometimes like they find ways to be aware. Blood on the floor, screams of the people next to them, like. And that's just the point for me, is like once you see them as people, like they're having subjective experiences just like any of us.
Yeah.
It's hard to like aid in the harm of them.
How's it different from
the exploitation
a gas
of them?
type
Yes,
of situation?
and so using your money to demand that is the oppression.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And so like, although I understand that you and your partner seem to have made like great deals or great progress.
She's been vegetarian for like 15 years nonstop. I'm the weak link there.
That's amazing to be aware already. But I would very much urge to like look into the dairy and egg industry. How it's very similar to like they essentially rape the cows to get the milk, and the chickens are bred to produce those eggs like that fast, and it's all gross.
Yeah.
And if you know that, it's hard to continue.
It is.
Doing
Which,
otherwise.
that's the point why you have to spread information, because for a lot of people, it's easy to dismiss it if they just don't have to think about it, but if you put it in front of them,
Exactly. And we gave you a card, already?
I think so. It's somewhere in my pocket.
Perfect. Yeah, no. I would say definitely like either watch that. There's a documentary on one side, I believe. You can watch that with your partner if they haven't seen it already.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or maybe refresh. Refresher's always good. I know like vegans are always watching more stuff, like I said.
Okay, information's good.
Exactly.
Awesome.
I guess that's all I can do is encourage you to look into the resources.
Yeah, I will. It's good talking to you.
Yes, good. I'm Elvan, by the way. What's your
Cody.
name? Cody.
Yeah,
Nice to
good to
meet you.
Yeah.
And come let us know how your thoughts and everything. It took a different turn. I definitely was like having to do a little more combative things than I thought I was
Holding
going to.
him accountable?
Holding him accountable. Yeah. I think it's easier in my head to think about like just like explaining to people that like, oh, these beings feel, rather than being like, well, actually what you're doing is kind of a lot right now, and what you're doing is actually in contradictory to what you really do feel. So.